Every game comes to an end at some point. For Season 2 of Traitors, that point is now. After many long and difficult days, this season is coming to an end today. Either the traitors will win, or the faithful will win. With only 5 people entering breakfast, who was murdered last night between Penelope and Sasha. Plus, which players will be banished, and who will come out of this game victorious. We'll find all of this out today. In the breakfast room, Emma comes in first, surprised at first that she's here first, but then recalls her shield. In confessional, Emma says that she's amazed she made it to top 5. Never in a million years did she think she would reach the final portion of any reality show. But, here she is on Traitors. This proves that she's a good game player. People underestimate her all the time. She hopes people will underestimate her for tonight's finale. The traitors don't know what's coming. Sasha then enters the room next, surprised she's alive. Emma greets her and Sasha sits right next to her. Emma apologizes to Sasha for being such a nuthead after Darla's banishment. She overreacted. Sasha accepts the apology and tells Emma that they need to move forward together. She truly believes the two of them are the most proven faithful. Emma nods and says she's down and would also like to include Penelope in that. In confessional, Sasha says that her eye is currently on Olivia and Amira. She believes one of them to be a traitor. Yesterday was a huge wake-up call for the faithful since everyone thought there were 7 faithful in the game. Instead, there's at least 5 or 6 of them. Someone lied about their role all this time, and she hopes she can get the numbers against one of Amira or Olivia tonight. Back in the room, Yasu comes in next, though not as happy. He sits next to Sasha, and Sasha asks him if he's okay. Yasu shrugs without a response. In confessional, Yasu admits he's hurt by Sasha last night. The two of them have been rock solid together, but Sasha suddenly stopped trusting him. He doesn't understand her logic at all. Maybe she's using reverse psychology on everyone and she's the actual traitor who kept the two of them alive. She's a smart player after all. Back inside, Sasha tells Yasu that he needs to put his emotions aside. It's not going to help them win this game. Yasu then asks Sasha if she even trusts him to begin with, and Sasha says she doesn't fully trust anyone right now. Yasu rolls his eyes and tells Sasha he trusted her day after day. For her to flip on him like this makes him feel played by her. Sasha tells Yasu it's just a game. She hasn't been playing him. She's just a faithful questioning all options. Amira then pops into the room next, leaving just Olivia and Penelope yet to enter. Emma sighs, telling everyone she believes Penelope was murdered. She can see it happening this time. Amira admits it would look very strange if Penelope wasn't murdered, considering how everyone here believes she's faithful. In confessional, Amira feels very nervous today. It's the final day in the castle, and these last 3 faithful are going to do whatever they can to hunt down the remaining traitors. The thing that stands out the most is that these people think there's one traitor left. If she can flip the vote on Olivia tonight, that reveals her as a traitor, and everyone will hopefully end the game at Final 4. Then, she gets her solo traitor win. As much as she wants to win with Olivia, it's becoming impossible because these faithful have a few final 2 deals going with each other. Back inside, Olivia walks in as the final player, and Emma puts her head down. Olivia then asks if Penelope was murdered, and Sasha confirms she was. Emma says she knew this day would come, but she's happy she got to spend almost all season with Penelope. She met a friend she never thought she'd have. Olivia sits down next to Amira and calls Penelope a legend. In confessional, Olivia admits that her and Amira were threatened by Penelope and Emma staying together as a duo. Yasu and Sasha showed cracks in their relationship last night, so the logical move was to take out Penelope and keep that damaged relationship of Yasu and Sasha longer. Hopefully, Sasha and Yasu will turn on each other, giving herself and Amira a shot at victory. All they need is to banish 2 more people, and they essentially win the game. In a flashback, Penelope sits in the confessional room, finding out she was the final faithful murdered. She admits it doesn't come as a surprise. The final traitor needed her gone to break up her duo with Emma. Maybe she was also close to hunting that traitor down. Her prediction right now is Sasha. That lady is smart, so she's one of the only people who could trick the whole cast all season long. With breakfast now down, the 5 players have some time to discuss before the final roundtable meeting. Emma talks with Amira privately, telling her that she's fairly certain one of Sasha or Yasu is the final traitor. Amira nods and says it could also be Olivia since she has been the quietest player in here, which is a bit odd for a faithful. In confessional, Amira feels like she has to convince Emma to vote out Olivia tonight. If she can also get 1 more vote, that's 3, and that'll be enough to banish Olivia. It also means everyone else will think the remaining 4 players are faithful, so they won't banish again and will instead end the game. As a result, she wins as a sole traitor. Even though it's brutal, she's starting to learn what traitors have to do in this game to survive. Olivia has betrayed her traitors before. There's no reason for her to be loyal to her. Emma then tells Amira that she could see a world where it's Olivia, but it would be a world she hopes never existed. She trusted Olivia for so long. It would be a complete shock if it was her. In confessional, Emma says that she will use Amira as her new Penelope to get to the end. If the 2 of them lock in for final 2, that's a guarantee win for them, as long as the other 3 are unaware. As of this round, she obviously wants to vote a traitor out as soon as possible, so she has to think who it truly could be between the other 3 of Yasu, Sasha, or Olivia. In another room, Olivia and Sasha talk about Yasu as Sasha admits that she feels like Yasu will target her tonight. If that's the case, she doesn't mind banishing him instead. If he targets her, that just shows her that he's the final traitor all this time. Olivia agrees and says she's on her side. In confessional, Olivia says that she needs to make sure one of Sasha or Yasu go home tonight. That's the ideal scenario for her game moving forward. Once one of them go home, herself and Amira can stick together and reach the final 2. Yasu later finds Emma, asking her what she thinks about this final banishment. Emma then tells Yasu that it seems like Amira wants to vote out Olivia, but she's personally between him or Sasha. Yasu says he thinks Sasha could be the traitor at this point. He feels like her strategy in this game was to manipulate him into being her best friend, in which that would keep her safe from many banishments. In confessional, Yasu admits he didn't come here to let someone manipulate him for the win. Sasha is a good player in this game, so he now has to take the personal aspect out of this game and vote with his head tonight. At the moment, Sasha is that person for him, but if she can come up with a better argument tonight as to why it's not her, maybe he'll spare her. Emma then tells Yasu that it's best for everyone to speak up their own thoughts tonight and not hide a single thing. It's their final chance to air things out. Yasu nods and confirms that only Sasha, Olivia, and Amira would ever get his votes in this final stand. It's now time for the roundtable discussion, and the final 5 players enter the banishment room one last time. In confessional, Sasha prays that she guesses the final traitor correctly. She's going to keep an open mind for this vote, though she's definitely leaning towards voting out Yasu. However, she's not ready to keep Amira and Olivia off of the table. She doesn't fully trust them. Everyone is now ready for the discussion, and Emma starts off by laying everything out there. She tells Yasu that she personally doesn't trust him, same thing for Sasha. She wants them to fight it out right now or come together to convince her why neither of them are traitors. Yasu then says that he can't be a traitor because he's the last guy in here. He would be stupid to kill off the other men so soon. Sasha smirks and Yasu continues on by stating that he finds Sasha's game very weird lately. She suddenly started acting like he was her chess piece. He wasn't this friend that he thought he was. He was being used all this time. Sasha then speaks up, telling Yasu that she would be stupid not to consider all options, just like how he should be considering every option. However, he hasn't, and that's her problem. She feels like he has kept her alive all this time to garner trust with her. Yasu then spins it around and says he felt the same about her. He felt like she has been using this reverse psychology tactic to make everyone feel like her new theories sound reasonable, but in reality, it's just a strategy. Olivia then speaks up and says she kind of backs up Sasha's gameplay, though. Sasha has been the most consistent player at every single banishment this season. She would have been super ballsy to go after Stephanie so early in the game. Yasu then says that's exactly his own game as well. The two of them played the same way, so that doesn't make sense to claim that Sasha's innocent, but he's not. Amira then cuts in and says that she feels like this whole Sasha and Yasu battle is just a ploy by the final traitor. She hasn't doubted Sasha as a faithful in many cases. Sure, sometimes she wondered why Sasha is still alive, but they haven't had so many murders in the recent rounds. Penelope was likely murdered because she would have been alive alongside Emma, which is obviously a problem for that traitor's winning chances. Emma then says that she wants to know Olivia's defense as to why she's not a traitor, since she's another person considered for tonight's vote. Olivia is taken aback, telling Emma she never knew her name was out there. Amira then speaks up and says she started thinking it was her because she has been super quiet all season. She made the least amount of enemies up until the James elimination. She voted Nita, and then Nita later accused her as a traitor. It's very convenient how that all played out. Olivia smirks and says she can point out something suspicious about her as well. Why hasn't a single traitor questioned her in this game? It always seemed like she was a swing vote in this game, as if she had to balance two sides. Emma then asks Amira if she's a traitor or a faithful, and she doesn't want any bullshit from her response. Amira looks dead into Emma's eyes and tells her she is a faithful from day one. The person who isn't a faithful must be between the other three, and she's leaning towards one particular person. Sasha then says she wants to ask Olivia why she never volunteered for the shield this season. Olivia shrugs and says she never wanted to sacrifice her vote in this game. The last thing she ever wanted was to sacrifice her vote alongside many other faithful, giving the traitors a majority vote at any banishment. Amira squints and tells her that doesn't make sense for two reasons. 1. She hasn't been murdered despite not volunteering for shields. 2. She always kept her vote and yet decided to remain quiet at every single banishment. She never threw out names until the second half when she couldn't hide anymore. Olivia then starts to cry, telling everyone to please trust her. She's not the traitor. She can't lie in this game. Yasu then shakes his head and asks Sasha why she felt so safe at the beginning as well, rarely ever volunteering for shields. Sasha then tells Yasu that she never felt unsafe at the murders because she made her target very clear from early on. She targeted Chris, so Chris would never murder her for it. At times, she realized she couldn't just keep herself unsafe all the way through, so she sacrificed her vote for a possible shield every so often, including the James round. Yasu then gives a confused look, stating that she only ever volunteered that one time. So no, she didn't sacrifice it at times. Sasha smirks and says she still doesn't feel right about his true role right now. It's getting very weird that he's targeting her so much. He then says right back that she targeted him first and hasn't gotten off of his ass this entire round. Sasha says she has been considering all of her options, so he's wrong. The only person she hasn't considered as a traitor is Emma. The discussion time is now up. The 5 players must now write down the name of the player they'd like to banish. With all 5 done writing a name down, Yasu is asked to show his vote first. He breathes out heavily and says he wrote down the person he feels like has played masterfully since day one. That person is Sasha. He can't trust a single word that comes out of her mouth anymore. Olivia is asked to go next, so she flips her slate and shows Yasu's name. She feels like there are a few red flags about him. One is the fact that he's the only guy in here, so it's possible he used this theory that the traitors are after the guys as a safety thing for himself. Another is the fact that he seems like he's not incorporating logic into his reasoning anymore. He's getting very emotional ever since Sasha said she considered him as a possible traitor. To her, that seems sketchy. Emma is then next, and she shows her vote for Sasha. She didn't know who to choose at this rate, so she went with the person who probably played too perfectly to be a faithful. Sasha then has to go next, and she breathes out, stating that she made a decision she never thought she would make. She has to look at the facts, just like Olivia said Yasu isn't doing. She shows her vote for Olivia, claiming that Olivia has gotten way too far in this game without ever considering taking a shield for herself. Plus, like Amira said, she hasn't shown her cards early on, which is another layer of suspicion on her. The vote is currently at 2 votes Sasha, 1 vote Olivia, and 1 vote Yasu. Amira is the final vote tonight. If the vote ties, the 2 tied players won't vote and the others must re-vote between them. If Amira voted for Emma or Sasha, Sasha will be banished. Amira is asked to show her vote, and she says she's going to pray her power move works tonight. She shows her vote for Olivia. We now have a tie between Olivia and Sasha. That means Amira, Emma, and Yasu must now re-vote between those 2. With that, the 3 are asked to write down another name, so they begin writing. Olivia puts her head down, and Sasha look up at the ceiling with tears in her eyes. The 3 finish voting, so Yasu is asked to go first. He shows his vote for Sasha, claiming that he's sticking to his guns. Emma is asked to go next, and she covers her face. She then flips her slate, revealing Olivia's name. That's 1 vote Olivia, and 1 vote Sasha. It comes down to Amira's vote. Amira is asked to show her vote, and she looks right into Olivia's eyes and flips her slate with her name on it. With 2 votes, Olivia has been banished from the game. She must now head to the front and reveal her role. Olivia stands at the front, wiping her tears as she breaks down. She tries to gather herself together and then says she's an emotional wreck tonight because she thought she could reach the finals. She really thought. But no, she had to get kicked in the butt right at the last second with a complete blindside. She can't believe this all resulted like this. It could have been a lot more peaceful. She then says she's a traitor, and the other 4 immediately drop their jaws, and Emma screams out in joy. Yasu covers his mouth in utter shock, and then Sasha looks at Yasu in shock. Olivia walks out of the room, and Amira begins to cry, unable to believe that she just got a traitor out. Sasha hugs Amira, telling her they somehow pulled it off. Amira kneels by the wall, and Emma gets up to go hug Yasu. She tells him good game, and he remains silent, shocked by this result. Sasha then goes over to him and tells him they went after each other for no reason. Yasu shakes his head and apologizes to her. He didn't know she was being real with him all this time. Emma then goes over to Amira, asking her if she's good, and Amira nods with tears in her eyes. Emma hugs her, telling her she got the final traitor. Amira cries on her shoulder and says she just feels bad for Olivia because she seemed so devastated. Emma pats Amira's back, telling her it was worth it. She just won them the game. Four people remain in the game after Olivia was banished. However, there's still one traitor left, and that's Amira. Is this a locked-in win for Amira? Or will there be a blindside at this fire ceremony? The four finalists then arrive outside for their final fire ceremony, each standing by a box. They are then told that the finale works like last season. They must grab a pouch from their box with either green or red powder. They will throw the powder into the fire when asked. If the fire turns green, that means they want to end the game. If red, that means the game will continue and they will all vote again. If at least one person throws a red powder in, there will definitely be another vote. With that, everyone is asked to grab a pouch from their box, reminded that if even one traitor remains in the group at the end of this game, the faithful lose. The four have a pouch in hand, and Amira is asked to throw hers first. She throws her pouch into the fire and it turns green. Yasu is asked to go next, so he throws his pouch. The fire turns green. If the next two are green, that means the game ends. Sasha is asked to go next, and she gulps and throws her pouch into the fire, turning it green. Only one more pouch remains to be thrown, and that's Emma's. Emma is asked to throw her pouch into the fire, so she does. The fire turns red. That means the four players must now write down the name of the person they'd like to eliminate from the game. Whoever gets out will reveal their role and instantly leave the premises. The four players write down a name, and once done, Amira is asked to show her vote first. She shakes her head and says she didn't expect this at all, so she just wrote down Sasha's name. Yasu is asked to show his vote, so he shows his vote for Emma, claiming that he doesn't understand why Emma is doing this. That's now one vote for Emma, one vote for Sasha. Sasha is next, and she shows her vote for Emma, finding this very dumb from her. That's 2 votes Emma, 1 vote Sasha. Only 1 vote remains. Emma is asked to show her vote, and she breathes out and says sorry to Sasha, but she just wants more money at the end. We're now at a tie between Emma and Sasha. Yasu and Amira must now re-vote. If they do not vote unanimously, there will be a random draw between all 4 players for who goes home. Both Amira and Yasu are asked to write down a name, and they take a moment to think. Sasha meanwhile shakes her head at Emma, and Emma looks down. Amira finishes writing a name down, but Yasu struggles with his vote. He then locks in his vote, and Amira is asked to show her vote first. She shows her vote for Emma, apologizing to her, but she doesn't want to risk her game for her decision she made just now. Yasu is asked to show his vote last, and he closes his eyes and shakes his head. He shows his vote for Sasha. We're now at a deadlock, which means the 4 must now rely on luck. They must each grab a rock from the box located at the front. Whoever has the odd color rock will be eliminated. Amira goes up first to grab a rock. Yasu then goes next, kissing the box for good luck. Sasha takes a rock next, breathing out heavily. Emma is the final person to grab a rock, and then the 4 stand with a rock hidden in each of their hands. A countdown begins for the 4 players to reveal their rocks, and after the countdown, the person with the odd-colored rock is Yasu. Yasu must now reveal his role to the rest and leave the area, so he shakes his head in anger and says he has been a faithful since day 1. Sasha covers her face, and Emma looks at Amira. Yasu leaves and Sasha calls this whole thing bullshit. The remaining 3 are then asked to pull another pouch from their boxes. If at least one person chooses a red pouch, they must vote again. The 3 remaining women grab a pouch and stare at each other intensely. Emma is asked to throw her pouch in first, so she does and the fire lights up red. Amira is asked to go next, and she throws her pouch and the fire turns red. Sasha is last, and she throws her pouch and the fire turns green. With 2 reds, a vote must occur again. The 3 then write down a name for the final elimination of the game. Once done, Emma is asked to show her vote first. Emma breathes out and says she only decided to vote again because she always wanted more money, so unfortunately she voted for Sasha. Amira is asked to go next, and she looks at Sasha, showing her name. She apologizes and says she's almost certain Emma isn't a traitor. Sasha rolls her eyes in disgust, and she's asked to go last. She shows her vote for Emma, throwing the slate into the fire and shooting up 2 middle fingers at her. Sasha tells Emma she's fucked for doing this after being hard carried to the end. Emma waves her hair back and gulps, and Sasha is asked to reveal her role. She says she's a faithful, and she immediately leaves. Emma breathes out and tells Amira she did this for more money, and Amira says she knows and wishes she warned her beforehand. With that, Emma and Amira are the final 2 standing, and it's time to reveal their roles. Emma is asked to reveal to Amira first, so Emma says she's a faithful. She then breathes out, telling Amira she better also be one. Amira is then asked to reveal her role to Emma now, and Amira looks at Emma. She then covers her mouth and starts shaking. Emma's jaw drops as she stares back at Amira. Amira barely gets out that she's a traitor. After a long silence, Emma says wow out loud. She then begins walking out and starts sobbing out loud to herself. Amira continues to cry. In confessional, Amira admits that it was very difficult to come out as a traitor to Emma. She wishes the loss happened for her much sooner, but she decided not to end the game twice. It just made this whole reveal 10 times harder. Although it's bittersweet, it's still a win. She started this game off as a faithful and ended as a traitor. She only ever received 1 vote for banishment in this game, and that was from Pablo during the first banishment. She has to keep her head up high because this win should feel deserving. It's just tough to accept it because she fought through this game alongside other faithful that she later had to betray. If she learned one thing in this game, it's that you should always remain humble. You never really know who could be playing you in this game. Never.